Are you still cutting your skirt with visible dart and with no zip contouring and ass stitching? Then definitely this video is for you. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Royalty Cut here, and in today's tutorial I'll be taking you through an easy process of how to cut a straight skirt with zip contouring, ass stitching and an invisible dart. If this video is a video you're interested in, please keep on watching to the end. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. So basically for today's tutorial, I'll be making use of this pattern paper you see over here. So just like I said before, I'm going to be showing you how to cut your skirt with invisible dart and with zip contouring and ass stitching. And the sweetest part of this tutorial today is that you can use this one pattern drafting that we are going to do now to actually cut both your front skirt and your back skirt. And also, if you want me to do a tutorial on how to use the same pattern to cut any kind of skirt, just tell me in the comment section. So for the long skirt, which is a pencil skirt that we are drafting today, I'm going to be making use of this pattern paper. So the first thing that we are going to be doing right now is to get the full length of our skirt. So remember that normally a skirt usually has at least 2-inch band. So I'm going to be subtracting 2 inches away from every measurement that I'll be taking vertically. So firstly, we'll get our full length. So I'm going to be subtracting 2 inches away that will be replaced with the band. So 2 inches at this point, and the full length that I'm working with is the full length of 44 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark 44 inches all the way down, and I'm going to extend the line. After that, the next thing that we are going to work on right now is our hip length. So for our hip length, we are going to be subtracting 2 inches again. Just like I said before, we'll be subtracting 2 inches away from all our vertical measurements. So the hip length that I'm working with is 10 inches. Now, if you look closely, my tape is above this paper. That means that the tape is starting from this 2 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark my hip length, which is 10 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and mark it down, just like you see me do over here. So after my hip length, the next measurement we'll be needing right now is my knee length, and the knee length that I'm working with is 24 inches. Now for your knee length, after measuring exactly your knee, just go up by either 3 to 4 inches to avoid you not being comfortable while working with your pencil skirt. So normally my knee length was 26 inches, but I came up by 4 inches, and that is 23 inches. So just go ahead and do the same thing for yours. So after that, just like you know, this is our full length, which is 44 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and extend our hip length line and also our knee length line. Extending the line, let me just go ahead and mark it down. This will be serving as our waistline. This tip here is our waistline. This is our hip length or our hip line, and this is our knee line. And the last line we have here is our full length, which is the full length of our skirt. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and impute 2 inches starting from this point that I have. So I'm going to be imputing 2 inches from this waistline all the way down to the full length. And after that, I'll also go ahead and divide the 2 inch into 1 inch. That is making the 2 inch to be separate by 1 inch in each column. At this point, after marking the 2 inch column that I showed you earlier and dividing the 2 inch into 2, that is 1 inch on each column, making it 2 inches in column. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and show you right now is to identify the column. Now this first column you see here that my hand is pointing on is our zip contouring column. I don't know if you can see. It is our zip contouring column. And this second column you see here, which is the first column, starting from where I'm sitting from, this first column here is our ass sitting column. I don't know how to say it. Okay, let me just go ahead and write it down. This is our zip contouring column. This is zip contouring column. And this last one here you see over here is our ass sitting column. So this is the column for the zip contouring and the ass sitting. So let's start with our measurement input. So at the waistline, the first thing we are going to go ahead and do right now is to get our nipple to nipple measurement. Now this nipple to nipple measurement is for the dart. So for me, my nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches. Just go ahead and measure yours. So I'm going to go ahead and divide the 8 inches into 2, making it 4 inches in total. So the measurement I'll be taking from will be starting from this line, this last line you see over here, not from this point or the center, but from this part. So I'm just going to go ahead and input 4 inches starting from this line here. So the 4 inches, I'll go ahead and extend it all the way down to our hip length, just like you see me do over here. So after extending the line, I'm just going to go ahead and use my ruler to connect it in a straight way. So after connecting it, I'm going to go ahead and come in and out of this line by half of an inch, just like the way you do your normal dart. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure half of an inch inward and outward this way. So I'm going to go ahead and connect each of these half of an inch back into this line that we have at our hip length here, just like you see me do over here. So this is that for our dart. Now don't worry about this because we are going to be closing this up earlier. So after that, the next thing we are going to go ahead and do right now is to divide our round waist measurement. So I'm working with a round waist of 32 inches. 32 inches divided by 4 is 8.25. So from this column again that I showed you earlier, from where our measurement will be starting from, this column here, I'm going to impute 8.25, which is our round waist measurement divided by 4. So this is 8.25. Now remember that we took half of an inch from this bust span line that you see over here, making it 1 inch in total. That's half plus half is 1 inch. Now I'm going to go ahead and replace the 1 inch so that it doesn't alter our waist circumference measurement. So I replace the 1 inch. So after that, I'm going to be adding 1 inch sewing allowance. Now, while doing this on your fabric, you can choose to use either 3 inch or 4 inch sewing allowance, depending on what you want. But because since this is a drafting paper, I'm going to be adding only 1 inch to it for the sewing allowance. So after that, I'm going to come over to our hip line. I'm going to divide my round hip measurement into 4. I'm working with a round hip of 42 inches. 42 inches divided by 4 is 10.5. So starting from this line too that you see over here, I'm going to be marking 10.5 inch at our hip length over here. Now I'm not going to be replacing any 1 inch because if you look closely towards this dart, you see that there's no space of half of an inch at this point. So what I'm just going to go ahead and do right now is to add only the 1 inch that I added at this point for seam allowance. So for our knee length, I'm going to be measuring round my knee. One of the days when you use your round waist measurement to do your round knee measurement. So just go ahead and measure your round knee. Now, how do you measure it? Put your tape around your knee or where your knee length is. Make sure that it's free enough for the person to walk. So for me, I measured mine was 32 inches. 32 inches divided by 4 is 8.25. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark 8.25 at my knee length here. Starting from this point that I took my measurement. So I marked 8.25 and I'm going to be adding extra 1 inch for the seam allowance. Now after that, I'm going to measure what I have at my knee length together with this 1 inch that we have here. I don't know if you can see. So I have 9.5 inches. So for the full length, I'll be subtracting what I have at this knee line, which is 9.5. I'll be subtracting 1 inch away from it, making it 8.5 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark 8.5 inch at our full length. So the next thing we are going to go ahead and do now is to connect this line. Now for the first connection, we'll be connecting from our waist length down to our hip length this way. Now it should not be straight, if not you'll not get that curvy look at the end. So if you have your curve ruler, go ahead and use it, but if you don't, just go ahead and use your free hand. So from the waistline we have here, this measurement we marked to the hip length measurement we marked. This is what we'll have, as you can see. So from the hip length, you are going to be connecting the measurement down to the knee length, just like you see me do over here. So just make sure that the lines are facing each other this way. I don't know if you can see, I've connected it. Then from the knee length, we'll be connecting in a straight way down to the full length of our skirt, just like you see me do over here. So after that, this is what we have. Now you can just go ahead and blend this sharp edge that you see over here for you to be smooth. I don't know if you can see. So our skirt is almost ready. Now the next thing we are going to go ahead and do at this point is to work on our zip contouring and our ass sitting. So after that, at this first column you see over here, just watch my hand closely. This column that I'm pointing at with this marker, I'm going to come in at this line by half of an inch. I'm going to mark half of an inch inward that line just like you see me do over here. So I marked half of an inch here. Then at this hip line length that you see over here, in this second column too, I'm going to be coming out by half of an inch. Now this is it. Let me go ahead and explain. In this zip contouring column, I came in by half of an inch. Then I went to my hip length at the sitting column. I also came out from this point to this point with half of an inch. Now I'm going to be connecting this half of an inch you see over here into this half of an inch with my ruler. Now you know that it's not going to be straight because the half of an inch are outward. So just connect it the way you place your ruler. And this is what we have. I don't know if you can see. So the next thing we are going to go ahead and do now is to connect this half of an inch as our sitting line back into this line that you see over here that is demarcating the sitting line and the zip contouring line. I don't know if you understand. I'm going to be connecting this into this line just like you see me do over here. Now if you don't understand, just watch what I'm doing. So I don't know if you understand what I did here. So I connected this half of an inch back into this line as you see over here. And that is that for our zip contouring and sitting. Now with this, you're going to be avoiding zip bulging. And with this half of an inch at the sitting, you're going to be avoiding your ass not to be sitting properly in your skirt. So this is that for this zip contouring and sitting. Now the last thing we are going to be doing right now is for us to close up our dart. Now this closing up of the dart is going to make your dart to be invisible. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is, starting from this side, you don't pick first from this center part, you pick from your allowance side. I'm just going to go ahead and pick this last line you see over here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. So I picked up the line just like I drew it earlier. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold it into this line, making sure that it is closed just this way. I don't know if you can see. So while doing this, just make sure you don't fold this hip line part because you know it was connected at the end. So just go ahead and fold yours. So after doing this, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do at this point is to use either my masking tape or a pin to hold it down. So I'm just going to use a pin for mine, and that is it for our skirt. Just as you can see, I put my hand under this and there's already a space where our ass will be sitting. I don't know if it is visible to the camera, but it is giving this swollen part at the hip part of it. So that is the reason why we came in at this point by half of an inch for this purpose that we are seeing here. So the next thing we are going to go ahead and do right now is to cut this out. Now watch closely on how I'm going to be cutting this to avoid cutting it the wrong way. So for the cutting of the skirt, I'm going to be cutting the sides just equally, just like you see over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the sides. So at this point, after cutting out the sides, this is what we have here. I don't know if you can see. Now let's go over to the cutting of the zip contouring and the ass stitching. Now for the cutting of this part, I'm going to be following suit this half of an inch that we slanted earlier. I don't know if you can see. So that's the first place I'm going to be cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and follow suit that line. So when I get to that half of an inch at the hip line, I'm going to also follow suit the way that I joined it back into the center line, just like you see me cut like this. So when I get to that point that the lines met, I'm going to go ahead and cut it straight all the way down. That means I'm removing that ass sitting from the knee length all the way down to the full length. So after cutting it out, this is what we have. I don't know if it is visible enough. So this is what we'll have at the end of the day. So as you can see, this is our zip contouring and our ass sitting is already sitting pretty. So just like I said before, try out this method and just see how this automatically gives you space at this point where your ass will be sitting, because there's a bump here already. So with this pattern, you can actually go ahead and cut your front skirt and your back skirt. So for your back skirt, all you can just have to do is place it like this directly on your fabric and cut it out. Now for your front skirt, you have to go ahead and fold in this zipper contouring line that you see here. So I'm going to be folding in this first line we see here. I'll go ahead and fold it inward this way. So I'll fold it from this point all the way down to the full length of our skirt. So I'm going to fold it in. So at this point, after folding it in, this is what we have. As you can see, we're already having our front skirt. So all you just have to do is fold your fabric into two. Place this folded edge at the part that is not slitted, just the normal way you cut your skirt, and you cut your front skirt. So after that, you can just open this up and cut your basket. So for the inserting of your zip while sewing, just go ahead and follow the same 1 inch you use in sewing your zipper from the waist all the way down to the hip, and your skirt is all ready. So that will be the end of this tutorial. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. See you in our next video. Bye.